Hello and welcome. This is Notibot ENG. Tonight, we bring you a special news recap as tensions escalate in the Middle East following recent developments in Iran. With rising fuel costs and concerns over aviation security, several key players are taking action to mitigate risks. From Transavia's flight cancellations to Chevron CEO warnings, and from contingency planning to diplomatic meetings, we'll break down the latest on what it all means for you. Let's dive into the top stories making headlines tonight. As tensions escalate in the Middle East following Iran's missile strikes, European airline Transavia is feeling the pinch with sudden fuel price hikes. Transavia, a Dutch low-cost airline, has announced that it will cancel some of its flights in May and June due to rising jet fuel costs caused by the ongoing U.S.-Israeli war on Iran. According to the airline, the cancellations will affect approximately 2% of its schedule. The disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz, a crucial route for global energy supplies, have led to a surge in fuel prices. This has resulted in increased costs for Transavia, which is struggling to maintain its profitability. As a result, the airline has been left with no choice but to cancel some of its flights. Passengers affected by the cancellations will be offered free rebooking options, vouchers, or full refunds. Transavia's management has assured that passengers will not face any financial losses due to these cancellations. This move comes at a time when the global aviation industry is already dealing with rising fuel costs. The ongoing conflict in the Middle East has exacerbated the situation, leading to increased prices for jet fuel. The impact of this development is significant, particularly for budget-conscious travelers who rely on Transavia's affordable fares. The airline's decision to cancel flights highlights the growing vulnerability of low-cost carriers to fluctuations in fuel prices. Transavia's move also underscores the need for governments and regulatory bodies to intervene and provide support to struggling airlines during times of crisis. As the situation continues to unfold, it remains to be seen how Transavia will adapt to these changes and what other measures it will take to mitigate the impact on its operations and passengers. As tensions in the Middle East continue to escalate, concerns are growing about the impact on global aviation, a sector Chevron CEO says is heading for trouble. The aviation industry is facing significant challenges due to jet fuel shortages stemming from Iranian restrictions on shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. Chevron CEO Mike Wirth has warned that these issues will likely worsen as tensions between Iran and its adversaries escalate. Before the conflict began, inventories of jet fuel in certain parts of the world were at seasonally low levels, according to Wirth. The Middle East refiners are struggling to meet demand for these critical supplies. This situation is particularly problematic given the high reliance on imported jet fuel by countries with major aviation industries. The United States has been at the forefront of efforts to counter Iran's military actions in the region. U.S. forces have been patrolling the Strait of Hormuz, a vital shipping lane for oil and other commodities. The Iranian government has accused the U.S. of attempting to strangle its economy through these naval operations. Wirth's assessment reflects concerns within the global aviation community that jet fuel shortages could disrupt air travel schedules and cause significant economic losses. Airlines are already feeling the pinch as they struggle to secure adequate supplies. With tensions showing no signs of easing, industry experts predict that Wirth's forecast may prove accurate. As tensions in the Middle East escalate with the ongoing conflict in Iran, the UK is intensifying its preparations for a potential wider war. As tensions in the Middle East escalate following Iran's military actions against US bases, concerns are growing in the UK about a potential supply shortage. The Strait of Hormuz, a crucial waterway for global oil and gas shipments, has been closed due to the conflict. This has already led to increased costs for energy production and transport. The UK government is taking steps to mitigate the impact on its economy and domestic security. Chief Secretary to the Treasury Darren Jones has warned that price pressure is likely, with Britons facing higher energy, food, and flight costs. Mr. Jones estimated that economic impacts could be felt for 8 months after the conflict ends, citing increased energy prices and potential food shortages. Prime Minister Keir Starmer will chair a cabinet committee this week to coordinate the response to the crisis. The UK is also working with international partners to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and stabilize markets. However, officials have drawn up worst-case scenarios, including potential disruptions to global supply chains. The situation matters because it could have far-reaching consequences for British households. Higher energy prices and food costs could be felt across the country, particularly for vulnerable populations. The UK's economy is also heavily reliant on international trade, so any disruptions to supply chains could have significant effects on the nation's economic stability. As the crisis unfolds, officials are urging the public to remain calm and continue with normal purchasing habits. However, with tensions escalating by the hour, it remains to be seen how the situation will play out in the coming weeks. Following a series of high-level meetings in Islamabad, Iran's chief diplomat is now heading to Moscow for what promises to be a crucial diplomatic shift. Iran's top diplomat has made a last-minute trip to Oman before returning to Pakistan and then heading to Moscow for talks with Russia. This move comes as mediators are pushing to restart negotiations between Iran and the U.S. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi's visit is seen as an attempt to shore up support from regional powers. Araghchi, who has been at the forefront of diplomatic efforts with the U.S., is scheduled to meet Russian officials in Moscow on Monday. This trip is particularly significant given Russia's close ties with Iran and its willingness to defend Tehran's interests. The visit also comes as the international community seeks to find a way to revive stalled talks between Iran and the U.S. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump has stuck to his decision to scrap plans for envoys to meet Araghchi in Pakistan. Despite this, Trump has left the door open for phone conversations between Iranian and American officials. The decision not to visit Araghchi in Pakistan is seen as a diplomatic snub, with some analysts arguing that it will only exacerbate tensions. The situation on the ground remains volatile, with protests erupting across Iran over rising food prices and economic stagnation. As tensions escalate, any attempt to restart talks between Iran and the U.S. must navigate these deep-seated domestic issues. With Russia's support, Araghchi is well-placed to play a key role in finding a way forward. In a move that underscores tensions in the region, Iran's top diplomat has departed Pakistan and is set to meet with Russian officials. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has left Pakistan and headed to Russia for more talks on regional security and relations between Iran and Russia. This comes as mediators continue to push for peace talks between Tehran and the United States. Araghchi departed Islamabad on Sunday and is set to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow on Monday, according to Iranian ambassador to Moscow Said Reza Dosti. The meetings are aimed at discussing bilateral relations between Iran and Russia, as well as regional and international developments. The visit follows Araghchi's recent stops in Oman and Pakistan, where he met with senior officials from the two countries. Despite these efforts, there remains no indication that direct U.S.-Iranian talks will resume. Iran has expressed concerns over U.S. sanctions and their impact on its economy. The U.S. reimposed sanctions on Iran in 2018 after withdrawing from the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, a nuclear deal between Iran and world powers. Russia's involvement in the talks is significant, as Moscow has been a key player in regional security efforts and has maintained good relations with both Iran and the U.S. The meetings between Araghchi and Putin will likely focus on how to improve cooperation on counterterrorism and non-proliferation issues. The developments come as tensions remain high between the U.S. and Iran over issues such as the Iran nuclear deal and the Middle East conflict. With talks between Washington and Tehran stalled, regional actors like Russia are stepping in to mediate and promote stability. And that's all for today's news recap. We thank you for watching and wish you a safe and informed day ahead. If you want to stay up to date with the latest news from around the world, please consider subscribing to our channel. We'll keep bringing you in-depth analysis and breaking news as it happens. Until next time, good night.